Yo, what's up guys, I'm back, got a review for you, this time with this 83 rated out of position Toure. Now, if you don't know, this guy originally comes as a centre back, and weirdly enough, they made him a striker. Now, considering he's 6'8", this is probably one of the weirdest cards you can get on FIFA. So, go through it then. So, as I said, 6'8", got the high medium work rate, he's left footed with 3-star skills, 4-star weak foot. As you can see, in the 19 match I played, I got 24 goals and 4 assists. Obviously, this is my second account, so that's why the team's a lot worse than other than like Red Name or stuff like that I normally have. On alternative positions, you can only play the centre forward, which I think is a good thing about this card, to be honest. Centre forward and striker, because if you play him any other position, it's just getting ridiculous. And since he's 6'8", he's just going to be a joke of a card. So as that says, he's got 86 pace, 83 shooting, 78 passing, 86 dribbling, and 84 physical. So on paper, looks like one of the weirdest cards I've ever used. If you look at the stats, there's very good stats and very bad stats in there. But we'll go through it afterwards. If you do enjoy the clips or want to see more, please do subscribe. It generally does help the channel a lot. If you do want to see one in particular, let me know down below, and I'll see you after. Peace. So, on to my own thoughts about the card then. Now, this for me was one of the weirdest cards I've ever used, because strangely enough, right, I actually enjoyed him. And it was really weird to me, because I've seen a lot of people have been using him on PS5 and also PS4, so it doesn't really matter. But they've genuinely not been liking him. Maybe because he's too tall to actually be agile. But let's go through them. So the 3-star skills me, obviously a bit of a letdown, because he's not really the most agile and he's really, really tall. So generally speaking, the 3-star skills are a little bit of an issue and will let you down at times. But the 4-star weak foot was very, very good on this card. And this goes hand in hand with that 97 shot power base and then 96 composure. With that, the finishing not even bad in itself. Like, genuinely, his shots would rocket into the net. And this is one of his best attributes. And I actually loved it on him. So the 4-star weak foot genuinely nearly feels like a 5-star weak foot, honestly. The attack position is insane, always in the right place at the right time. I would honestly consider using my main team for a weekend league, just have him up front, because it's just so fun. The finishing, really good to be fair. The shot power is insane. Obviously the penalties, 99. This is what I mean. This is one of the weirdest cards ever. He's got some 99 stats and he's got some terrible stats. It's so, so weird. But anyway, the long shots don't really go near that, and neither the volleys. But he has got good travellas on him, to be fair. Just not really good finesses, so don't really go near the finesse. He's got a 62 curve with no finesse shot straight, so stay away from that if possible. Now the passing me, as you can see there, he's got really good short pass and not bad vision. And he can do the 1-2s if you need him to. This is what this crazy thing about this card is, right? He can be a hold-up man with that 90 strength as well. This is why I'm genuinely considering using my main team, my god squad. Like, it's just so, so good overall. But he has got bad attributes, don't get me wrong. So the long pass is a little bit here and there. The curve on him, very, very bad, don't get me wrong. So he won't be able to do that finesse kind of shot, so you have to hit it hard with him. And obviously with that shot power, he can do. I didn't even talk about the pace side. So the pace me, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but he's not fast. Obviously he's 6'8", so it's going to take about a year to get going. But once he does, he's an absolute freight train. He'll be able to outpace people like Varane and stuff like that, as you've seen in some of the clips he did. But overall, he's not really the fastest of cards. But I do recommend the Hawk Chem side just to add the extra jumping, just to make him a little bit more of a stupid card. So on to dribbling then. So there's 76 agility, genuine, right? I was expecting a lot worse. I was expecting it to feel like more like 60 in game, but overall, like, generally, I would back it around 76. Honestly, it's generally not too bad for this card, and you will be able to twist and turn a few times. The ball draw for me does feel a little bit low, to be honest, because he's 6'8". He's going to be having the touches of a bust at times, because obviously the taller players aren't really the best with their touches. Reactions are actually really good with this card. Maybe that's why the dribbling actually feels quite responsive. And as I said, the composure is very, very good. But obviously the balance is a little bit low at times, because he's 6'8", it's not too bad, and the dribbling stat is a little bit low as well. But overall, he can twist and turn. Like, that's the shocking thing about it. So on to the physicals then. So the jumping isn't actually bad. They're 80 with the Hawk Chemistry style. At 6'8" is just insane. Obviously the head accuracy isn't bad, but Texas Pro Player made a very good point when he was using him. Head accuracy is manual this year, so it's not really, well, and last year, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're aiming in the right position. Obviously it might be a little bit wayward at times, a little bit inconsistent, but generally speaking it's normally where you aim it, so it doesn't really matter that head accuracy too much. But then again, I didn't really score too many headers with him, because overall he was just always in the right place, the right time to play it to his feet, so I wouldn't really need him to. But he has got that in his locker if he needed to. Now the stamina for me isn't really the best, to be honest. I do want like 85 base minimum, but with that being said, it's still not too bad at 80. Now the strength for me, as I talked about, he can be a hold-up striker, and this is what's so good about him. So he's not got that bad agility, he's got an absolute cannon of a shot on him, and he's got good strength, so he can be a hold-up striker. It just makes him a very, very versatile. I know it sounds weird to say a 6'8" guy's versatile, but he is, and that's what's really weird about the card. But that's all for my overall thoughts. Now let's get to overall scores. So on to my overall scores about this card then. Now if you don't know how this works, I write each individual stats, so you got the pace, the shooting, the passing, etc. on an overall score out of 10 to give you more insight on the card, and I also give you an overall score and a value for coins rating, just to give you more in depth on the card. So first means the pace. Now don't get me wrong, this card's not fast. I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10, just so he takes the age to get going. He's not slow when he gets going, to be fair, but it does take a little while to do so. Now the shooting for me, generally, the long shots aren't going to matter, to be fair, because you're not really retaining too many with them. And the volleys, again, not too bad. So overall the shooting, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Genuinely lethal. I'm one of the best finishers I've used for the price. It is so good. And honestly, right, that shot power is just immense. And you can be able to rocket a shot into the top corner. Now the passing for me, the ones that matter, he's actually got quite good attributes. So overall for the passing, as a striker, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Purely because he can do those 1-2s if you need him to, with those short passes and stuff like that. But overall, he's just got the bad curve, so he can't really do the finesse and stuff like that, which he kind of need. But overall, it's not a necessity, so that's why I feel like I can give it a 7 out of 10. Now the dribbling for me is a bit of a hard one to rank because he is 6'8", but he's not the most unagile of cards for 6'8". If that makes a little bit of sense. So I feel like he's more like a 6'3" card on agility. If that makes any sense. Like I feel like he can turn like he's a little bit smaller, but overall it is still a little bit stiff. So overall for this, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I can't give it any higher purely because he is 6'8" and he is gonna be a bit of a boss at times. So it's just all about that consistency level on the dribbling and stuff like that. Now for the physicals overall, the strength is really good for me. The balance isn't bad as well to go with it, along with the aggression. The stamina as well isn't bad. And since he's 6'8" with 80 jumping, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I genuinely feel like the only thing that would really bring this up higher is maybe like a 90 stamina or something like that. Or maybe a really good head and axie just to make it an absolute like salmon and lethal heading in. But as I've said, the head and axie doesn't matter too much. So on overall score then, I never thought I'd give it above an 8 for a 6'8" card, but generally I'm going to give it an 8.2 out of 10. Obviously he's going to be struggling against some of the better players of this game, like as in the better opponents, but generally I've had a lot of fun with this card, and he has carried me through the weekend league on my second account to be fair, so I can't knock him down. And for 13,000 coins, I'm giving him a 10 out of 10, honestly. Amazing card. He's League Gun, he's Striker, he's French. Honestly, you can get a lot of little links to this guy, especially as League Gun's one of the better League for meta cards this year. An amazing card. I highly recommend you try him out if you want to use a fun card. Maybe change him in Campos if you want. Play Campos up from maybe play this guy in goal. I don't know, something fun like that, but it's generally a very fun card to use. But that's all for my views. Always, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do subscribe. It genuinely does help the channel a lot. But I've got nothing more, so see you in the next one, and peace out, guys.